Hey guys, welcome into the Mailbag powered by MondoPad. I am Sarah Hecht, joined by Casey Holdahl. We are here to be answering your guys' Blazers questions that you got to us using the hashtag TBMailbag on Twitter, on Facebook, all over the place. So you ready to hop right in?
All over the place.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This first one comes from Brandon, and he says to us, should the Blazers consider trading Mo if McCollum keeps playing well? I'm sure he's referring to the last game where CJ was a standout in Oklahoma, or excuse me, in Minnesota.
In Minnesota against Minnesota's C team. So I don't want to diminish the win or anything, but I don't know if I'd go taking a whole lot of what you saw from that game and trying to apply it to other games. But just to this question, Brandon, you're dealing in kind of a false dichotomy here because Mo Williams is on basically a one-year salary. He has a player option for the second year, which he's already said he's going to exercise. Yes. Well, he's going to exercise his options.
Right.
Well, you're right, actually. Sarah's right.
Yes.
Long story short, he's going to go back into free agency this offseason. So basically, you're trading a guy who is already going to be gone anyways, or at least is going to be back in free agency. So I don't know what team would be willing to trade you anyone the Trailblazers would be able to use for a guy like Mo Williams who has skills, but is only going to be on your team for possibly the rest of the season. So, and even if that weren't the case, I don't think so, because, you know, I think they've liked what they've seen out of CJ so far, but I don't think CJ has shown yet that he can be a primary ball handler as Mo Williams has, and I just don't think they're ready to turn the reins over to CJ McCollum just yet. Terry Stotts has said numerous times he doesn't really like playing CJ and Damian Lillard together, and a lot of Mo Williams' minutes come alongside Damian Lillard. So as of this point, Brandon, I don't really think that's much of an option.
And if you ask me, I mean, I think that it's a little soon to even be thinking about this because when you compare the two, they really have such different assets. You have CJ who, yes, he's coming out. He's been able to handle the ball very well, hit shots at big times, but we have a very small sample size. And then you have Mo Williams who brings this wealth of experience. Absolutely. And one of the reasons that we talk about CJ and Dame not playing with each other, which is very, very important with the piece of Mo Williams, is the defensive liability that those two present. And even though Mo Williams might not be the lockdown defender, he still has experience and can guard some of those other guys that if you put if you put Damian and CJ on the floor together, could potentially be a very big problem. So I don't think right now we're at that point. I don't think we've seen enough from CJ, and I think that we have seen enough from Mo to know that his veteran experience is worth it, even though he does turn the ball over a little bit.
My final thing on that would be this. At this point in his career, CJ is much more of a shooting guard than he is a point guard, and I think they need another point guard on this team still, and that's what Mo Williams gives you. So.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. This next one comes from Brittany, and she says, what's the chemistry like between the players this year? And that's a really good question because we've seen it on the floor. You travel with the team, so what do you see off the ball?
A team that likes each other quite a bit. You know, I don't want to give the impression that guys are always hanging out with each other on the road because, I mean, they're with each other a lot for work anyways, and to a certain extent, you need to view a team the way you view the people that you work with as well, which is, you know, you like people you work with. You probably have some great relationships with those people. I know that I do as well. But at the end of the day, I still want to go home and be by myself or with my family. So, but I think you see on court-wise, it's where it really matters the most. And it's a team that is incredibly unselfish. And I guess that's chemistry, but a lot of it, too, is just believing in the system that is in place. And Terry Stotts' system is based off of ball movement and making the extra pass and making sure that if you rotate the ball as you're supposed to, someone's going to get an open look. Now, there's a lot of NBA players who, when given the option between, hey, I can pass to this guy and get an open look, or I can take the shot myself that's pretty open and I'm a better shooter than that guy, then, you know, those kind of chemistry issues the team does not have. And at certain points in time, probably a little bit too unselfish. I think we saw late in the game against the Pacers a little bit too much overpassing, trying to get other guys' shots when in reality, just take it yourself sometimes. So to answer your question, great chemistry on this team. I haven't covered another team as nearly as close, so I can't say it's better than other teams, but I don't get the sense from the soccer room at all that there's any issues. And if there are, they're really good at keeping them quiet because I haven't heard any of them.
Well, and you can't hear from some of the guys when chemistry was a really big conversation early on in the year. And a lot of guys responded and said, you know what, I haven't been in a locker room like this before. So if you were to say that this is a unique situation and began even the season as a unique situation with so many new guys, you heard it straight from the mouths of the guys. I believe even LaMarcus Aldridge said he hasn't been in a locker room before having spent his whole career here in Portland and seen quite a few variations of the locker room where all the guys like each other, all the guys get along, and everyone wants to make each other better.
Yeah,
so,
LaMarcus is definitely happier than he's
yes.
ever been. That's the most important piece of chemistry on this team. Is LaMarcus Aldridge is happy here in Portland and happy with his teammates. So that's what matters.
Absolutely. All right, let's round this one out with another question that has to do with CJ McCollum, because of course he's been playing well as of late. Any chance we see more of CJ at point guard over Mo? Oh, the CJ Mo question seems very popular. He appeared to do very well, and that one comes from Kent.
It's possible, Kent. I think you'll want to. I think the coaching staff probably wants to see CJ do it on a consistent basis. I think, you saw when they brought him back, he got minutes, and then he it's almost like a little version of the Thomas Robinson, Myers Leonard situation, in which I think they want Thomas Robinson to be in that position, just like I think they want CJ McCollum to be in that position. But I think they want the guys to really show that they're earning it and that they're doing the right things and that they're staying on the right path all the time. And when they make mistakes, I think the coaching staff wants to have the flexibility to say, you're not giving us what we need right now. I'm going to go in a different direction. And maybe that's only going to be for a couple games, but I think to a certain extent, maybe they just want to remind guys, hey, you have to earn what you get on this team. Mm-hmm. And CJ, you're the number one pick, and we like you a lot, and we feel like you're a part of our future. But you have to earn it, and I think he's been doing that in his past couple games. Obviously, Mo being out the past couple of games due to family reasons opens up those minutes. Will those minutes be there when Mo comes back? I think he's probably earned some of those, but at this point, again, when it comes to talking about playing more at point guard, CJ has not yet shown that he is an NBA ball handler yet. And that's not to say he won't, or that he isn't now, but he just hasn't shown it yet. So I would be reluctant to say he's going to be taking minutes from an established veteran like Mo Williams at this point, because he had a couple good games, one against the Timberwolves, one against the Pacers, and one against...
I think the most important part to look at this is the fact that you are talking about the point guard position. And like you said, CJ McCollum is really more of a shooting guard at this point. And yes, we have shown, and Coach Stotts has liked to show that he likes to have a flexible backcourt in being able to rotate even Damian Lillard into the shooting guard position. So it's really beneficial for CJ to be able to play both spots. But when it comes to a second unit where you don't have necessarily a guy like Dame who can do both, and you have Mo Williams, who really is more of a point guard position, I think that when you have CJ, you're looking at him more of a shooting guard instead of kind of a rotation of the two, which is another way to look at it. So guys, thank you guys for joining us for this mailbag powered by MondoPad. Sarah and Casey, you guys can submit your questions to us using the hashtag TBMailbag, which you can see right here. You can do that on Twitter, in the comments on Facebook, or you can send us an email, at mailbag@trailblazers.com, and we are answering these fairly often right here on video. So thank you guys that submitted questions, and we will see you guys next time.